Just have to continue to get better. I mean, I thought we played really hard. I thought Virginia Tech played really hard. Two really good teams going at it, not giving up an inch. But at times we played a little reckless. We got to clean up the turnovers. It's just we're hurting ourselves. Penn State's hurting Penn State. But overall, I thought the freshmen and sophomores really stepped up, played some really good basketball. And moving forward here, because it's steps, can we be consistent? Can we do this back-to-back with our effort, with our energy, with our toughness? And that's what I'm looking forward to see. It's obviously a journey, and it's really early in the season still. We have to continue to get better. But I'm really looking forward to practice these 2 days and then tomorrow to see if I'm going to get the same effort, the same group, collective effort that we had against Virginia Tech.
Hello.
Hey, Nate.
This is broken record time, but you had a couple of chances to make it a 3-point game at the foul line at the end of that game. Is that? Do you stress over it?
Nope.
Where do you go with that?
Just keep getting there. Let's keep getting there. I'd like to get there more. I think we're a more difficult team to defend when we get there 20-plus times a game. So we need to get to the free throw line more. Miles is a very good free throw shooter. If you look at John's stats from the NIT run, very good percentage from the free throw line. So, they got to get there and get more comfortable there. Again, this is all new for Miles, right? The shot against DePaul, the free throw line the other night. So I think with these type of experiences, we're really going to help us headed into January and February. And
then Myron, does he warrant a bigger look, a better look, not just when Josh is sidelined at this point?
No, I think we need to get him to 20 to 25. I think the three freshmen can really split some time and subbing Josh and Jamari. So, that's a little bit of a luxury. Who's got the hot hand might unfortunately might be the guy that's going to play. But it also comes down to defending and rebounding. I think MJ's very long and rangy, so he's earned the right to get a couple more minutes for sure.
You said after the game, I'm paraphrasing, that you need to get Josh going. Obviously, he made a couple big plays late in the game, but what do you mean by getting him going, and how do you go about doing that with a veteran player? Does this even work?
Yeah, it works. I heard you. The last 3 minutes, as I watched and broke down the game, he really played well the last 3 minutes. So I'm hoping that will continue on. He's trying to play perfect. He wants to make the right play, the right decision, and he's got to get used to playing with Mike again. If you recall, over the years, those two have been a dynamic duo. So I think once he gets used to Mike being back, and I'd like to see him really look to score a little bit more. He's just got to settle in. I think if he settles in and plays the way Josh plays under the umbrella of what Penn State basketball is all about, that's when he's at his best. Not stressed, just go out there and play.
And Mike, I'm maybe making a statement here, but it looked like he was playing with as much energy as we've seen out of him. There may be some games in the past where we didn't see that sort of energy. What did you think of his energy in that game, and how important is it to maintain that going forward?
I'm glad you're saying that, because I thought it was just okay. So from your perspective, it was good. From the fan perspective, it was good. I think he's got more to give us, which is exciting. I think he's a long way away from being in game shape. So this was a great step. These next 2 days, we'll continue the process, and then with Maryland on Saturday, he's got to be ready to play a very talented Fernando.
Kind of going off what Mark said, Mike's always been a pretty emotional guy when he gets into a game, when he gets fouls and everything. I thought he looked pretty even keel from start to finish, especially for a guy that hasn't played in however many months it's been. He didn't really seem that rattled in any direction. Was there something there? Was that just misreading, or is he sort of not growing up but maturing?
No, it's one day at a time. I'd like to think he's maturing. Yeah, we've said it to our team. Don't worry about the refs. We control our effort. We control our attitude. We control each possession. So it's not. Let's make sure the refs. It's not in the refs' hands. It's in our hands. So I think he's buying into that a little more.
And the second time around now, with the whole 2 Big Ten in the middle of the non-con kind of thing, do you learn anything from last year about how to handle that, how to practice through that, or just what you're looking for?
I always said this. I thought it was. I do like it, even though it's a really difficult stretch for us from Cancun to these games. I think it's going to tell us, again, exactly what we need to work on and what habits we need to develop. Last year we were really fortunate. We could have went 2-0, but one possession, right? But we had a big win at Iowa. So we just got to go to Maryland with this same objective. Go in there, let's just get better. And then when Tuesday comes, hey, let's just get better. And then we can sit down and really figure out what we need to get better at.
Did you get a chance to watch the Virginia-Maryland game last night? And I guess what are your early impressions of this Maryland team from what you've seen on film?
Yes, I watched it I watched it last night, and I watched it early this morning. Maryland's good. They were top 25 for a reason, right? They got Anthony Cowan, who's terrific. He's an all Big Ten caliber player, and Fernando, who's maybe one of the best bigs, if not the best big in the league, with some really talented freshmen and sophomores. So it's going to be a great challenge. And the crowd was incredible last night. The environment was nuts. Virginia's number 4 in the country for a reason. Their style of play and the shooters and the bigs that they have and their point guard and Tony. So, Maryland's going to be, out for blood. So it's going to be a really big challenge for us.
And you always talk about how much you want to stress defense and rebounding, and obviously Virginia's a team that's known for their defensive capabilities. Do you see any way that you can exploit some of what Virginia was able to do last night, limiting Maryland's offense?
Yeah, we do different things. Virginia really plays a real pack line, and they double the post all the time. They play ball screen defense, hard hedge all the time. We don't do that. We'll mix things up on different personnel to help our defenses, because it's really about us and what we can do to keep guys out of the paint.
How much do you expect Mike on the offensive end? Because it seemed on Tuesday there was some plays maybe you were looking to get maybe a lob set up to him, and some of them didn't work out. But how much are you expecting him on the offensive side at this point?
I think it's going to be. We all have to be patient. I think it's going to be a little bit of a process for him. But yeah, we want to get Mike into double digits. I want to get him up to 10, maybe 12. I mean, we've put plays in just this week for him. To make sure we get him the ball either on the elbows or in the post, or lobs, or a little post up. So, he's just got to do the little things. I think he played a little too straight up for me. He's got to play a little bit lower. He's got to set better screens and see a little bit harder. And again, it's his first game back in 7 months, so we got to be patient with him.
And it seemed like at points during the game, Razia was maybe kind of rushing, I guess, only on the offensive end, and then a couple plays late, and then one corner three, he really seemed to slow it down. Was anything to be said to him at that point, or how do you address that?
There's no doubt. We talked to him about slowing it down as far as turnovers. Just make better choices, better decision time, and score. And I felt like he really took his time on a couple of those threes, especially the one corner three that he made that really won the game for us. He's working on that all the time, and the kid has incredible confidence, and that's why you see me staying with him, because I know he's only going to continue to get better.
This will be the third time that Mike and Bruno Fernando have faced each other. What did you see last year? I don't know if you've rewatched those 2 games from last year. It seemed like, from my memory, the first time Fernando was kind of a little bit of this coming out party, and then in the second game, Mike controlled the tempo a little bit more and was able to limit him. How much do you think those 2 matchups will be an advantage for Mike in defending a guy like Bruno Fernando?
Yeah, if you recall, away, Bruno's very good, and home, Mike's very good, right? So you have to put that in, you have to hold that into account. I also want to say John's going to cover him too, and we got to throw everything at Fernando, because he's that talented, he's that long, he's that skilled. I mean, he was a projected first round, if not early second round pick. I think he got hurt late in the spring. So, I mean, we got to do a great job, Penn State basketball defense, on him and Cowan for sure.
This is a 2-big set for them now, though, where they're starting Fernando at the 4 this year. Obviously, they had some injuries last year, where they were forced to play him a little bit more than maybe was expected of him. But now he's grown into that all-star, or all Big Ten caliber role you mentioned. But now with a freshman that's talented, Jalen Smith, at the center spot, How difficult is that? And do you expect to play any lineups with John and Mike together to maybe combat that?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think right now we got to be who we are. It's really about us and what we do, not about what Maryland does. Yeah, we'll be prepared for whatever they're going to do on the roll and replaces and post-ups for each guy. But it's about our defense, our ball pressure, our loading to the ball, our deflections and things of that nature, taking care of the little things that don't show up in the box score. And if we do that, we have a pretty good defensive team. I mean, we showed that in the second half versus a very high-powered offensive team at Virginia Tech.
How much are you still learning about the Big Ten, or is it just you've got the Maryland binder? The personnel changes for everyone,
Yeah.
but I would say for the most part, all of these Big Ten teams are pretty much playing the same kinds of basketball year to year. Does that help you at all? I mean, obviously this is not your first rodeo, but
Yeah, it does. Look, I feel like I'm one of the more experienced coaches in the league now. I've been here 8 years and going through Maryland now for how many years have they been in the league? 5, 6, something like that. So playing Turge again, So I feel like I have a good feel for what he likes to do and what they're trying to do offensively. He's doing some different things defensively because they're young as well. With the Jalen Smith and Morcell and the guys off the bench, and Iea playing the point and Cowan off the ball. So he's doing some different things to get Cowan shots, to get Fernando the ball. That they're doing some different things defensively. So, but you still have a feel for Purdue and for Maryland, and Indiana's still new, Archie's still new, but Izzo and those guys, you have an idea of what they want to do, just different players.
you've talked a lot about over the years and today about execution. Kobe did a documentary about one of his games at Madison Square Garden, and he talked about that there's so much film on everyone that really you're not going to do anything that's going to surprise anybody. Maryland's not going to do anything that surprises anybody. It's all about who can do their thing better than the other guy. Can you execute better than the other team?
You're right.
How much do you stress that to guys, especially as you go against better and better opponents?
And that's why I say, when you guys ask me questions about the opponent, that's why I say, no disrespect to the opponent, but it's about us and what we do and how we execute and where are our minds. How hard are we going to play? Are we going to give in to, wow, this is another high major game within 2 days. It's early, fatigue and my legs are tired. I'm sore. Everybody's sore. Everybody's tired. So it really comes down to the old John Wooden theory of John Wooden never worked on the opponent. He always worked on themselves. I don't go that far, but I do simplify it. I do simplify it very much because it is about what we do and what our approach is and what our mindset is going into that game.
It seemed like as soon as Mike got inserted into the game that Virginia Tech was attacking him with some ball screens, and he defended them each. I think there was 3 straight possessions where he was defending a pick and roll, and he defended each of them differently. Have you and the rest of the coaching staff been talking to him about being aggressive at certain points and in certain looks? Because Justin Robinson and Cowan are both talented guards that are going to attack off screens.
Yeah, well, we definitely mixed it up. One time he was a little bit too low, and then we wanted to blitz Robinson or trap him just to mix it up on him because he was getting too comfortable going to his left. So it definitely worked a little bit. But for Mike being, it's been a while, he's got to get in the stance, he's got to get long and wide, he's got to get up to that line of scrimmage and be able to keep guys in front of him or push him to sidelines. And when he does that, wow, we're a really effective ball screen defensive team, especially if our guard can get back in front and he can go back and protect the rim. We'll get there.
It seemed like Tuesday night that there were at least 3 or 4, like what I would describe as hustle plays that were kind of pivotal for you guys and went your way. Can you just gauge this team in terms of where it is on that hustle scale of what you like and maybe against past teams?
Yeah, we had close to 20 deflections. We had 10 dives. So some things that you might not see in the box score that show me or is an indication that we're playing really hard, which is second and third efforts. I don't know if we got that against Bradley. I think we played really hard and did a great job against Bradley. I don't know if we got the second and third effort all the time. I thought we did against Wright State. I don't know if we did against DePaul. It was our first road game. You can see it was our first road game. Even though we went up 11-0, we kind of just went. So that's what I'm talking about when I say consistency. That's what I'm talking about. I'm looking forward to these 2 days, and if we got it, that same fire in our belly to do it again, because that's what the great teams do. And I think we have that type of potential. But as far as hustle and doing those things, we're going back to my early days when we were flying around, playing big-time Penn State basketball.
Just to piggyback on that, is some of it just based on the personalities that you have collectively as a group, or is there one guy who kind of sets the tone each year? How does that?
I think it's collectively, but I think Jamari does a great job of it. And I think John did a great job of it. And I think everybody else kind of just follows suit. You mean Josh does a great job of it. Josh is all over the place, deflections, dives. Guys are trying to take charges. It's really a lot of fun to watch this group get better.
Rajier seems to be a player who's at his best when he's feeling really confident. And it seems in the games that he's played his best, he gets going early. It's a couple, 2 threes in the first 5 minutes, and then he's rolling throughout the rest of the game. And then the games where he struggles, like DePaul, he's over. Have you made an effort to try to get him some early looks, maybe as soon as he comes off the bench in his first 2 minutes or 3 minutes out there?
Really, what I talk to Rajier about is play with great confidence. The next shot is going to go. You're too good of a shooter. I mean, you work too hard. You're in the gym all the time. You get extra shots. The ball's going to find its way. The ball knows how hard you're working, and the ball will reward guys like you. So you had a difficult night one night. Don't worry about it. Keep shooting, and he knows that. He's got to play. He's got to defend and rebound. As long as he's defending and rebounding, he knows he's got the green light on the other end.
What's the value in getting pretty players to play dirty?
Who's pretty?
Well, I mean, I would say
Who's a pretty player? Mark, who's a pretty player?
Aesthetically,
I did not make that statement. I like the rock fight deal.
That was good. Yeah, thanks.
or aesthetically pleasing players. Like Tony was nice to look at when he played basketball, just
Yeah.
how he did it. But
Yeah.
his wiring's different than Jamari's. He wasn't
Yeah.
going to pick a fight with somebody. But when you get guys that are as good as Tony, they're also willing to pick a fight with someone. Maybe not literally.
Yeah.
That seems like a good marriage of two. Different
It's an interesting way you're phrasing this. I think I'm enjoying watching this team. I'm enjoying watching Jamari Wheeler play as hard as he in a couple of the games this year so far. I mean, man, he's really disruptive to the opponent's offense. And then I think, guys like Ra and MJ and Miles are going to follow that. Maybe they don't do it every possession. Maybe they're only doing it for a couple stretches here and there. But if those stretches get longer and longer and longer, well, now you got 5 guys on the floor playing tough and physical and nasty. And maybe they didn't know they had it inside them. Maybe they didn't know until, we got to bring it out of them. But Tony get in a fight now. Tony could talk some trash. You guys might not have heard it, but he can get nasty when he needed to.
Is there a chance that Lamar could see some more opportunities to be the initiator on the offense? Because it seems like we talk about how he's able to score at all 3 levels, and I think he kind of showed that the other night against Virginia Tech. I remember he got a mismatch against, I think, Alexander Walker, and I think it was in the first half, and he just beat him off the dribble and got to the rim, and as well as getting some post-ups. Do you see an opportunity where he's the guy initiating the offense to try to maybe get some other guys involved?
It's something that we have tinkered with. I think right now I like what Lamar's doing when he gets a rebound, or even when our 5 gets the rebound and they outlet to Lamar. We're giving Lamar that freedom to bring the ball up the floor or kick it up the floor or get a drag ball screen. So, Lamar has a lot of freedom out there to make some choices, or he can start just backing somebody down if he chooses to go up a sideline and back somebody down, and we'll get in some different action on the weak side. So he's got some freedoms. I don't know if we're going to let him play the 1 and half-court offense. I think that's what you're asking. I think right now I'm liking what Jamari and MJ and Ra and Josh Reeves are going to give to us over the long haul.
I think basically more what I'm asking is there a way that the offense can flow through him, whether it's through post-ups and off-ball?
The offense absolutely flows through him. I mean, if you watch the last 4 minutes, we put him on the left block, we put him on the right block, we put him on the left elbow, we put him on the right elbow, we put him everywhere. So the offense is going to go through him. People are going to double him, and he's got to make great decisions. I was really proud to see a positive assist-to-turnover ratio, and I bet you, in our attitude, he probably had another 3 or 4 hockey assists where his pass led to a shot that we made.